Hello again, Year 5 and 6. Welcome back to Tuesday's reading tutorial. What we're going to do today is we're going to be giving you the opportunity to write down what you think the Jaberwocky is about. Now, that's an odd thing to ask for a nonsense poem because it's not really about anything, but at the same time, it could be about all sorts of things as well. So it's very open. You could kind of say anything that you wish. Before that, though, we're going to have a read through of the poem again, because tomorrow's activity, the reason I'm going to keep making us read through it, tomorrow's activity is to try and memorize the poem and learn it by heart. So the more you hear it, the better you'll be at that. I'm going to give myself a bit of a head start by having a go at doing some of it by heart now. I'm not going to try all of it yet, though, because I'm going to try and learn it properly when you learn it tomorrow. So I think, if I can remember rightly, and I've got nothing in front of me, I promise, I think it starts, "'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. O mimsy were the borogroves and the mome raths outgrabe." Not too bad. Can I remember the next verse? "'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. O mimsy were the borogroves and the mome raths outgrabe." No. That's all I've got, I'm afraid. "Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tumtum tree, and stood awhile in thought." And then I'll try the next one. "And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came." Happy with that. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. "And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, callooh, callay," he chortled in his joy. "'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. O mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome raths outgrabe." So, the general reading of this, the story that's the obvious thing that it's telling you, is about this boy who is in the woodland. He lives with his dad, it seems, because he says, "Beware the Jabberwock, my son." Could be with his mum, I suppose, but he lives with a parent, generally held that it's his dad. And his dad warns him that if he goes into the woods alone, there are lots of things out there that could hurt him, that the most fearsome of all of them is the Jabberwock, with its jaws that bite and its claws that catch. There's also the Jubjub bird and the frumious Bandersnatch, two other dangerous creatures. But the boy doesn't listen. He takes his vorpal sword with him, and he goes out to face this foe, to seek out, having sought the manxome foe. And he's trying to find the Jabberwock for so long that he gets tired, so he rests by a tumtum tree and thinks about what he's going to do next. And as he's thinking, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, comes through the woods and charges at him, burbling as it does so. He takes his sword, and with 2 strokes, the blade cuts through and goes snicker-snack, cuts off the Jabberwock's head. And he takes the head to prove to his dad or his mum that he has slain the Jabberwock. And his mum or dad is so impressed, they say, "And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Have you slain the Jaberwocky? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Come and give me a hug. I'm so proud of you." And then, "O frabjous day, callooh, callay," chortling, that's laughing in his joy. So in his joy, that suggests it would be a dad. And then finally, back to that first bit, the introduction sentence, or introduction verse, sorry. Now that's that's one reading of what's happening there. But I want you to think about it in a bit more detail. So I've given you some sentence starters that I'd like you to complete for me. So I'd like you to complete the sentence, I like or dislike, you don't have to say both, obviously, choose which one. I like or dislike the poem Jaberwocky by Lewis Carroll because I want to know why you like it. My favourite thing about the poem is, even if you don't like the poem, there'll still be something that you liked best about it. Then you can say what you think the poem is about. Now, I've told you what the general opinion is about what the poem's about, but you might not agree, and you don't have to agree. It's a nonsense poem, so it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about an actual animal. It could be something different. It could be about the idea of going and facing your fears. So it might not be real at all. The Jabberwock might just be something to represent fear, going out and facing your fear. It might be about going out and trying something new for the first time, or going out and taking a test that you're really nervous about. It might be going out and performing for your football team for the first time, playing your instrument in front of a group for the first time and conquering fear. It might be about standing up to someone being unkind to you. It might be about just being a good friend and looking out for other people. But you can say whatever you think, really. I want you to tell me what the rhyme scheme of the poem is, so you'll have to look back to get that. And then finally, what do you think the poem might be a metaphor for? Now, I don't expect all of you to answer that, but that's a nice one to have a go at. Now, remember, a metaphor is when we are saying something is something that it actually isn't. So you might say it's raining cats and dogs to show that it's really heavily raining. It's not actually raining cats and dogs. So the whole poem might be a metaphor, and we've just talked about some of the things it could be a metaphor for. It could be a metaphor for facing fear. It could be a metaphor about growing up. So the Jabberwock could be the idea of moving into secondary school, maybe, and how you have to go and face that head on and fight that fear and embrace the challenge. It can mean all sorts of things. It could be to do with facing illness and living through it. Could be anything. But what do you think it might be a metaphor for? And I'd like you to finish those sentences for me. So 5 sentences there. I'd like you to write out in as much detail as you can manage, really. Show me, show your teachers, whoever it is you want to send them to. And I look forward to seeing them. Tomorrow will be your go at trying to memorize the poem. And by then, I'm going to be determined that I'm going to have it all memorized. Other than that, that's everything from me. So I will see you tomorrow for our final home and in-school learning reading tutorial for the whole year. Unbelievable. Can't believe we've got there already. Look forward to speaking to you then, though. But for now, goodbye.